Greetings, adventurers. This is DM Kurt, and I'm out in the great outdoors in front of one of my favorite plants, the yucca. It's very hardy. It only needs to be watered twice in its lifetime. Once when you plant it, and once when you're trying desperately to root it out with a shovel. And yes, the roots are tough enough. I have broken shovels. So, it's sending up a stick. The stick makes buds. The buds bloom out into white flowers. Awesome. This is actually cutting off of one that came from Montana in the very early 1900s. It's a cutting off of a cutting off of a cutting. Anywho, that's not what we're here for today. Seems that Wizards of the Coast is trying to get themselves into the news again from Magic the Gathering. So, what's going on? In the newest Magic the Gathering card set, there are certain cards. There's elf cards, and then there's elf tribal magic cards. And if you play all the right cards, just a handful of them, you can basically just wipe the floor with your opponent. But the controversy isn't in game mechanics. The controversy is in the word tribal. Somebody at Wizards decided that the word tribal might be considered offensive. And so they're changing tribal to Typal. Typal. The word is based off of the same root as typical, and it was apparently, as far as I can tell, I've done a little research on it, it goes back to the 1850s, which means that sometime in the 1850s, somebody was describing another culture, and they used this word in part of their description. Quite probably in a description of a condescending context. So, something like, their savage behavior, typal of this people. Yeah, probably something condescending and offensive. So you may have gone from non-offensive to offensive. Now, is the word tribal offensive? That's not for me to say. I do know that there's a certain tribe in Southern Oregon who call themselves a tribe who will say things like, I need to get my checkup. I need to go down to the tribal health building. We finally bought that old run-down motel, and we're going to convert it to housing for tribal elders. And speaking of tribal elders, whose dumb idea was it several years ago to cut the funding for the free firewood for tribal elders program? Okay? But hey, just because that tribe doesn't consider the word tribe or tribal offensive, hey, who's to say? Somebody somewhere is going to get offended by something. But Wizards of the Coast, I'm telling you, you may have switched to something that comes from a worse context. Maybe you should be sure that you've done all of your homework before you make changes like this. Because what you tend to do is you tend to step on your own feet. Anyway, good luck out there. DM Kurt, out.